everybody. I'm Maria Oliva with the Cape Cod Canal Region Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our show today. We're doing a series of membership spotlights with our chamber members. And we want to make sure that we're in touch with our business members so that we can create a business climate, a healthy business climate. And we appreciate all the people that support the Cape Cod Canal Region Chamber of Commerce. We're located at 70 Main Street, Buzzards Bay. We're in the heart of Bourne in the downtown area, which we've done a lot of work on too, so things are looking good up there. We cover the towns of Bourne, Sandwich, and Wareham. So we're going to go right to our membership spotlight and introduce Jilian Morton from Bello and Morton, law offices of Bello and Morton in Wareham.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, this is our first time doing this, and Jilian is a local attorney, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. Just give us a background about who you are and how'd you end up in Wareham area.
Sure. It's more of how did I end up back in Wareham.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm a fifth generation Warehamite. All my family, especially from my mother's side, is from Wareham. So I have a strong sense there. My grandfather was found Dell's Taxi, which turned into Wareham's Taxi. And I grew up there. So I grew up in the schools there. When I decided to go to college, I went to Colby College up in Maine, great education, then law school up in Boston. So had that big city experience living there for about 4 years.
Oh, good.
Figuring out where I wanted to go. And I worked at other law firms down on Cape Cod, and then ended up having the great opportunity to be able to basically partner with an attorney, Mr. Bello, Leonard Bello of Wareham, who was there for about 42 years.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
so having that opportunity was huge.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
So being back into Wareham, 5 minutes from where I live, I couldn't
Awesome.
love more where I am.
That's awesome. So I know you have 2 young children.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about them, their names, and
Sure.
they're wonderful kids, right?
They're great. They're little angels.
Of course, all the time.
So Oakley May and Easton Jonathan. So they're blessings, and they are turning 3 and 4 in the summer. So very happy to have them, and they're my reason why. I say it all the time of what I do. And we can go into, being a parent and how that's really helped me with my practice.
Really? Tell us how.
Sure. So one of the things that I offer, I do general practice, but really specialize in estate planning. So you're able to help parents. You might have toddlers or a newborn, or maybe your children are older, maybe you have grandchildren. And how can you create an estate plan that's really going to take them into account? Instead of just drafting a document, putting it away into a drawer. So I really try to create a personal relationship with my clients to be able to help them through all the different phases of their life. So whether it's they just have a newborn and they're worrying about a nomination of guardians if something were to happen to them, or they're in their older age and they're trying to protect their assets and keep the family wealth within their legacy of their family. So that's one of the joys that I have with my practice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great. So you know what we did when we came over here? Paula did a background check on you.
Oh, dear.
Not background check. I just did a little
I
research.
know.
Yeah. So you went to Suffolk. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah. So Suffolk Law, it was a great opportunity. Actually, the only law school I applied to in Boston. I was going to go out of state, but the opportunity. I lived in the North End. A walk over to Suffolk Law. It was a lovely time.
Oh, that's just so awesome.
Right near Udina's Pizza. So
really?
Yeah.
I used to work at the State House years and years and years
Yeah.
ago for a state rep, and I would go to Suffolk at part-time to go to school, so it was right across, it was near the State House, so it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great location. When I was there, I actually got a specific certification for labor and employment law, which is, I did work for Massport Labor Relations Department. So, now I'm not specializing necessarily in employment law, but I do have that background too, which shifts me into really, again, business owners. So I talked about parents. Business owners have a unique planning that they need in place for if something were to happen to them. And they have tons of different things that they might need legal guidance on. So it's one of the joys to be able to represent business owners, whether they own a boutique or a used car dealership. They always have different challenges or goals that they're trying to meet. So that's what I'm trying to foster with my firm, continuing with what Mr. Bello did, Attorney Bello, and having those close relationship with business owners and trying to reach their goals. So the chamber has helped me a lot too.
Oh, good.
So I appreciate
Good.
that from you
Oh,
guys.
God, we appreciate you. We really work hard to, when people say members, what does that mean, members? They're businesses
Yeah.
that join the chamber so that we can help them hold their hand in terms of all kinds of things, where it would be different loan programs during the pandemic, different federal and state legislation that we have to keep our members apprised of what's going on, the businesses. And we really work hard to make sure we promote them in many ways. So we're really looking forward to building our membership. And I should say you're on the board of directors.
Yes.
You're a new member. We have 13 board of directors with the Cape Cod Canal Region Chamber of Commerce. And on the board of directors, oversees policy for the chamber, and then we do the daily management. So that's pretty much how it works. We're nonprofit. We don't get any money from the state or federal government, except during the pandemic. That would be a situation where we did qualify for some funding there, so that helped us quite a bit. And a lot of our other business members too. So we do these member spotlights to promote business in the community. So I know you do a lot of zoning work before
Yeah.
the different, tell us a little bit about the boards and committees
Yeah.
that you work on, and people should know, especially in the town of Bourne, who you are and who
Of
you
course.
represent.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there are municipalities and there are different boards. So whether that's a finance committee, conservation, or are we going to a zoning board of appeals?
Right.
So there's a specific process if you do get a denial on a build you're trying to do, or developers coming in trying to work on a project. Those laws, those bylaws that are set up by the town of Bourne, they have certain standards for each zoning district that they're going to go into. So when you hire an attorney to be able to represent you to go in front of the boards, they're really able to do a review of those bylaws and state your case. It's an opportunity for you to have someone speak on your behalf, which I've found clients might have apprehension going in front of the boards, that they're saying the right things, doing the right things. And whether this is, they're trying to remodel their own personal house, or they're doing a huge 15
Development.
unit development. So so having an attorney through that process is really something that will help you. I know in Wareham there's a lot going on zoning wise. And as well as Bourne, these are areas that people necessarily don't want to go all the way down Cape. They like this atmosphere. It's a very short drive for them coming from off city. So it's definitely, I would say, an area that is developing and just changing. I do real estate as well, so buyers and sellers. So I'm in the thick of the real estate market and knowing what's going on. Houses going for over $50,000 asking price, and the competitiveness of this area. You can probably see in this area. I do have connections to Bourne too. My Nana's over in Grey Gables, so I love getting down here.
Oh, nice.
Getting down to the dike and just staying there too.
Yep.
So it's such a great area that people are starting to more and more know about. So
Right.
it's great.
Good.
So
That's
you're
great.
in BNI in Wareham too, right?
I was
Yeah.
in BNI. I'm actually a member now of the Networking USA group. So that's the Gateway chapter.
The Gateway, right.
We have a Canal chapter, which I'm not, Maria,
We're
you're
right.
Okay, you guys
We're
are in
in
that
there.
one.
Yep.
That's a great opportunity. I would encourage anyone, whether it's a BNI or Networking USA, to get involved if you're a business owner, just to the fact that it's easy. It's virtual now. So it takes, a 30 to 40 minutes of the meeting and just getting to promote yourself. And it's easy. You can do it from at your home. I do it in my office. But that's something that a business owner, if you're looking to expand or you're hurting or you need more clients, start a networking group. You never know who's going to need whatever services you provide.
Right.
We have all that information. I know with the chamber, if people are interested in those different groups.
In networking, people don't know sometimes what networking means and how to do it. But I think Zoom and the virtual meetings have helped with networking and letting people talk to each other, even though you can't physically get out. Because during the pandemic, we couldn't have any networking events. And it was frustrating because a lot of networking events we had at different places. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of referrals, a lot of people coming. And it's about relationships, not about getting business that night. It's about developing relationships over a period of time, and you network with people, and then it comes back to help you.
Right,
You know,
right.
in many ways. And the gateway in the Network USA group has really helped us get some new members from the chamber.
Right,
so
right.
hopefully that's helpful. So
Absolutely.
Jillian, can you talk about the balance of work at home? Because I think that's a big concern for everybody now that they're going back to
Absolutely.
work.
yeah.
Absolutely. Number one, I can tell you that it's never a perfect balance.
No.
Right? You're working out and you're on a balance board. I was a retired athlete. Some people know if they follow my page. I used to play basketball, so I always use
Oh,
the
nice.
sports analogies. You're on a balance board. You're never perfect, right? So one of the posts, I do a lot of social media. Today was about Wisdom Wednesday.
You do.
that
I
it-
see them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's progress, not perfection. So
Wisdom Wednesdays. I like the
Wednesday,
title of
Wisdom
that.
Wednesdays.
Yes.
What quote or what theory that you can lean on and you can look at to help you, work on the day and get better. So it's progress, not perfection, always, whether that's in my business or my personal life. I did a review of my older videos a year ago when I first started out, and how they were back then and how they are now. So, and it's okay. You don't delete that past. You move forward to what you're looking to grow for your business and your family. That's the same thing with parenting, right? I always say
Right.
that if you're worrying, the very fact that you're worrying about being a good parent means that you are one. So that's a huge quote
That's
that
great.
I lean on. So thinking about, I'm worried, am I doing the right thing with my toddlers? And I know I am because I'm thinking about it. I'm not just pushing through with my way or the highway. I listen to them in a creative process. So that's what I'd say to any parent out there who's a business owner. It's a lot. It's a lot. Progress, not perfection.
It's difficult raising children and working, but the thing is that you're in charge of your schedule
That's
to a
right.
point, except for the night meetings, right? And you have to do
Yeah.
these Zoom meetings at
Yeah.
night, and it's funny because I, will sometimes be involved with the selectmen meetings, zoning meetings, etc. And the zoning meetings are long.
Yeah, sometimes they're 11:30 at night.
I know it,
We have
I
quite a
know
bit
it.
going on in Wareham with the proposal for the casino and different
Right, I was just
activists.
the zoning, they have a
That's right.
zoning for special town meeting
That's
that's
right, a
coming
new
up.
change, so that's going on,
Right.
and there's a lot of different, it's kind of a heated argument. I kind of stay out of it, I'm working on
Right,
other things.
just explain where the property is for a second.
Yeah, so that's up in the area.
Glen Charlie.
Glen Charlie.
Right.
It's, people can look on, there's there's two websites kind of going which show the different sides. Wareham Wins is one of them, and the other ones I think say no to article something. But,
Right.
that's on everywhere over in Wareham regarding that casino. Or not even right now, it's not even a casino project, it's just a proposed zoning change.
Right,
So-
proposed zoning change so that you can have economic development and bring more taxes to the town and have it more business oriented rather
Yeah.
than housing. Although we do
Yeah.
need housing.
Yeah.
That particular property is huge and this great opportunity for the town.
That's
The
right.
town can provide services if they have extra tax revenue coming in.
Yeah.
So,
So that one, it's always changing the different information that's coming in from the different sides of the coin. So I just say to anyone who calls in with me about that, I stay out of it. Everyone has their own political
of
group.
course, you just have to be professional and do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And the whole issue with that can be flushed out, and people can say what they feel.
Yeah, so
Everybody
that's
has
why we
their
have
opinion.
the process. So there's a special town meeting. That's going to be, I believe, April 10th. The
Yeah.
selectmen have encouraged everyone to get there early. And that's where you get to make your vote on what you think is right for the town. So big activist for just going out and voting, because that's
Right.
your power you have.
I know it. That's how you involve yourself. I know some people don't like to go to town meetings and they want representative town meetings. I'm saying representative town meetings is when you get elected to go into, to get elected so that it's just representative town meeting, so people have to run to go to town meeting. I'm saying, I love the open, one person,
Yeah.
one vote
Right,
town
right.
meeting. I
Yeah.
never
I do
would
too.
want that
Yeah.
to change.
I recall back in the day, my mom would, not drag me, but take me to the town meeting. She didn't have childcare, and I'd see everyone hold up the card up in
Yep.
the Wareham Auditorium. So I kind of have some fun, memories
Of
of being
that,
at town
right.
meetings and
Right.
being involved. So that's the power
Right.
we have as citizens in any town.
Right.
So.
Can you tell us some ways that you contributed to the community? Because I know in the chamber, you've helped us focus on family
Yes.
focus.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's really been helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've tried to take my business and whatever success that I have and basically bring it back into the community as much as I can. So this started pretty early on in my practice, even during the pandemic, trying to give to a charity at least once a month,
Wow.
something that was important to me, whether we're going back to school, and that's there's a local person in Wareham who does the backpacks. We did that. There's other problems that are going on in town with addiction, so donating to like Ray Ray's Legacy. And lately I just did Kiwanis talking about trauma, and that's for like infants. I mean,
Children.
hearing that.
Right.
Exactly. So giving back financially, but I would say if you're not in a position to do financially, you know, there's time. So being on a board, I know we're always looking for people on committees.
Right.
And trying to get involved in any nonprofit that you can.
Right.
And what skills can you bring? I'm working also with some other nonprofits, reviewing their bylaws and just helping in the
Nice.
way legally I can. So it's time, maybe not
Right.
financially assisting. So I'm hoping to look forward to different events when things start getting opened up to make it, you know, some kid-friendly events and things like that. That's my hope. Maybe parents that are looking for their estate plan to get done, but they don't have a sitter. Well, we'll provide a sitter so you can come and watch a presentation from me. So getting creative once we can open up more and it less virtually. So,
Right, like during the pandemic, it must have been very scary because you have all these open meetings and you
Yeah.
go, and all of a sudden it was like, bang,
Down.
things
Yeah.
are shut down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you had a meeting scheduled 2 weeks from now, you know? And this is when people hadn't even heard of Zoom or,
That's right.
you
Yeah.
know, Teams or Microsoft Teams or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the Google team. I can tell
Yeah.
you from, you know, I do general practice, so from the litigation cases I'm doing too,
Yeah, that's
the access
hard.
to justice. So when your case gets into the court system has been hit as well from
Yes.
the pandemic.
Definitely.
They're about down to 30%, like for example, a probate case, 30% of the capacity of the clerks
Really?
in there. So they're
Wow.
working remotely, they're not in the
They're
office.
relocating. I've seen some.
That's right.
Yeah. different-
So as an attorney involved in everything, I'm trying to communicate with the clients, you know, what's going on, what are the delays. You know, things are still happening. People are still getting divorces, or there are still deaths. There's still things that legally need to get done through the court system, and how can we make the access to justice in the time frame within, you know, a fair amount of time. So
And
that's been a big part too, communicating that to the client.
Yeah, yeah. And you have to develop a lot of relationships with people, with the,
Yeah.
you know, the town manager and the selectmen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the board members, the planning board, zoning board, all these conservation commission. And once you develop those relationships, then they begin to trust you, and then,
That's
you know,
right.
you can help your clients.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that
for
regard.
example, the town hall at Wareham's technically shut down.
And
So
I know it, yeah.
How do we file for variances? How do I obtain information necessary? Is
Oh,
through
yeah.
those relationships of being able to speak to someone and you know, constantly doing that with kindness.
Right,
So,
oh, that's good.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us where you are in Wareham so people can
course.
find
Oh,
you?
yeah, that would
So
be
we're
good.
easy. We are 184 Main Street, so it's right across from a lovely Riverside Cafe
Right.
that I like to go to
We
very
love this
often,
place,
especially
yes.
when my coffee machine is broken. So right on Main Street, Wareham, which has a bunch of new businesses opening up, great eateries there as well, who I know are some chamber members as well. So I encourage anyone driving through, maybe you recognize that there's a new sign. It used to be Bella and Bello, and now it's Bella and Morton.
Maybe
And,
throw your phone number out
Of
there.
course, it's
Yeah.
508-295-2522.
And your website?
Morton Law LLC is still the website, but I also encourage anyone, Facebook, again, I talked about social media.
Oh,
If
talk
you're
about
cur-
the Wednesday.
Yeah, the Wisdom Wednesdays. I also do webinars frequently.
Oh.
Anyone interested in things like that will.
Like
that's-
what? What would be some of the subjects?
Well, I'm doing one this Saturday, because sometimes parents want a Saturday webinar at
Oh,
10.
really? Okay.
So the subject for that is a busy parent's estate planning guide. So,
Oh, that's
so
great.
something like that. And then I did one for grandparents. I did one for people who own real estate. that's a big thing to think about when you own property and how that would flow through your ownership upon your incapacity or passing.
That's
So
awesome.
I do specific little webinars, and
So can we,
hoping-
I don't mean to interrupt, but I am.
That's all right.
Do you, how do people know how to get to your webinars, or would it be on
Usually
your
the
website?
Yep,
Okay.
the Facebook page will have most of the information on
Mhm.
it. I would say look there. The website we're kind of updating still a little bit,
Mhm.
but the Facebook and I think we have Instagram as well, so they'll be able to
Oh,
link
that's
there.
great.
And hopefully next year, possibly being able to do some in person. I'm
Right,
thinking about a
right.
wines and wills event
Mhm.
for us of age. To,
The
you know,
chamber can help you with
the
that.
chamber
Right,
wines
right.
and wills event, maybe with a financial planner and something
Excellent.
else. Just make it as fun as it can be.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Right, right.
so
I like that, as fun as it can.
as fun as it can be. So
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah. How is your research going, Paula?
No, my research was good.
Was it good?
A lot of
Yeah.
information. The
Yeah.
only other thing is, you really do have a parent focus on things, and I think that's really nice. You have an educational aspect. You're fun to work with. You contribute a lot to the board. All
Yeah.
those are very positive things. How do you think legally that you contribute? I mean, you're certainly educating the community. That's
Yes.
fantastic. I love that aspect.
The legal part of it?
Mm.
Oh, it's all the fun stuff you don't get to see behind doors. So
Right.
when we're looking at, well, let's look at zoning. So zoning is a specific legal set of standards for variance that you have to hit under Chapter 40A. If you're seeking a variance from the town, whether it's Bourne, Wareham, any of the surrounding communities, Rochester, Marion, you have to hit standards that say that this land is unique, that it would be a hardship if we don't get it granted. So those are the legal things that an attorney would be able to represent to the board, and they need to see that to be able to grant a variance. When we're talking about estate plans, I'm kind of talking about it in a big bubble, but looking at those documents, making sure they're legally in place. So a trust, and how is that trust going to be laid out, how you want it. Trust documents can be 10 pages, can be 60 pages, depending on the specificity that you have in the document. So making sure those are all up to snuff. Always continuing legal education too. So I'm always doing basically CLEs and reviewing what changes are happening. I know a lot of people talk about Medicaid planning, elder law, and about a nursing home on a lien. I get that often. And how can we shield things as much as possible? So that's
Do it now.
Do it now. The 5-year look back, I get a lot of
Yeah.
questions about that. So I educate the client, give them the options legally that we have, and figure out what's going to work for them. So there's a lot of legal stuff going on.
That's for
Don't
sure.
you find that people procrastinate future decisions?
Yeah.
Whether it could be nursing home insurance as you get older.
Yeah, long-term care.
All this, things that you have to look into, and sometimes people just say, "Oh, I don't want to think about that."
Yeah.
And you've got to encourage them
So
to say,
important.
"Plan now when you're younger."
Yeah, absolutely. I hear a lot from people maybe my age. I don't need a will. I'm in my 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
You have small children, or
You
you
need a
own
will,
property.
yeah.
Absolutely, at least a will, maybe a trust, maybe here are
Oh,
the
good.
options.
So you do wills and things, estate
Yes.
planning.
Yeah,
and-
so those are the different pieces of an estate plan: wills, trusts, powers of attorney, all those legal documents. More specifically, when we talked about parents, I do a specialized thing. Really, I think I'm the only one in our community and the surrounding towns, a kids protection plan. That's going to include everything: their nomination of guardians, their medical powers of attorney for minors. That's what you need. So if something were to happen to you or you were incapacitated, a guardian could step right in and be able to smoothly take care of your children. So I am educating the clients about that, and giving them the option to have that plan. And again, that's near and dear to my heart with my littles.
So
good.
say somebody was trying to adopt a child.
Mhm.
Would you be able to help them with that? Or
Yeah, so I think that might be more specifically the agencies that assist with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Once they get the adoption in place, I'd be able to then do a kids protection
Trust.
plan for them.
Yes, that's what I was thinking
Yep.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a kid's protection plan when you adopt. That's what you
As long as they're your guardian, they're your legal child,
Oh,
you're
that's
able to then
interesting.
Yeah.
nominate a guardian if you are unable to. Instead of, if that document's not in place, I always use the example, you're out on a date night with your husband, you guys don't come back. You get hit by a
Right.
drunk driver, you're incapacitated. The babysitter might not know where you are. They don't know what's going on. They might not know to call your parent down the road, but they call the police. The children aren't legally able to stay with the sitter unless there's some sort of legal document in
In
place.
place, yeah, that's really
Yes.
scary. It gives me chills thinking about it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Well, you brought a lot of things to the table, I'll tell you that, a lot of things to think
did.
about.
We
Yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely.
I'm just being told that we have a couple of minutes left to wrap up, so that went by quickly, didn't it?
it did.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Well, we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. I appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
I learned something about you today, so that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this will get aired and people will see you and, reach out. And,
And I
we
encourage any
appreciate-
other member who could do the
Mm-hmm.
spotlight to come in here because it's a great opportunity that you guys provide for us as
Our
in
business,
membership.
yeah.
So I think that's
Right.
important for members to know about. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up our membership spotlight with Jillian Morton, and we appreciate your listening today. And if you can see, this mask is just driving me crazy. But I wear it all the time. It's important. So we're going to make sure we beat this thing, and hopefully in the future we can meet with networking events and things of that nature. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Paula.
Bye.
Okay, take care.